School-to-school solidarity. It's what brought dozens of students to UNCW's Lumina Theater tonight. That's where they gathered for a vigil to remember the students killed in the Parkland, Florida shooting. Our Andrew James joins us now in the studio after hearing from students on what's next. Andrew?
Well, Randy, the vigil comes 2 weeks since the Florida school shooting and on the same day as students in Parkland headed back to class. More than 30 students at UNCW gathered for a moment of silence for those killed at Stoneman Douglas High.
Angry that whole day, honestly. I was finding it actually hard to eat. I was so disgusted with what happened.
That disgust and anger motivated Dylan Wood, like the dozens of UNCW students, to be a part of this first vigil to honor the students and staff that were gunned down at a Florida high school.
It's just a moment of shared sorrow, from school to school.
A moment of silence, but also of conversation.
It felt like this was something that needed to happen on this campus to really draw attention to the subject and to talk about it and to not let it just fade out of the news.
Lauren Ingram helped organize the event. For a majority of students, the tragedy put things into perspective.
I have younger cousins who are in schools, and this is something where I don't ever want to have to be afraid for my cousins' lives whenever they're going off to school each day.
The aftermath of the shooting had her worried not just for family, but for those who have graduated before her.
I also have friends that are teachers, and so they're going into schools every day knowing that this is now a possible threat, and I just don't think that that's okay.
Before it happened, Ingram says she never saw herself as someone who would be an activist. Wood never thought he'd take part in a march for smarter gun laws. Well, he plans to, though, in late March, as does Ingram.
I think that this movement needs to keep going to bring awareness and hopefully bring change.
Now, a majority of the students at this vigil told me that they plan to also take part in the March for Our Lives, either in Wilmington, Raleigh, or up in Washington, D.C. That march is planned for March 24th. Randy?